Welcome back to this video, and in this video we are going to talk about this beautiful story written by Michael Morpurgo. So, why this story is so important that it is given in your syllabus? As you can see, this world is so much tormented by the wars, crimes, and killing of innocent people that qualities called love, affections are subdued. We think that love cannot win anything. Love is useless. The violence is predominant and it can win anything for you. But this story is going to give you a different perspective on the theme called love, on the theme called war. There are two things that are important in this story. The first thing is that the idea of Christmas, the festival of Christmas, 2000 years ago, Jesus Christ, when he was born, there were three wise men who came to see him. There were three things Jesus Christ was given during his birth by three wise men. First is gold, second is frankincense, and the third is myrrh. So, what are these three things? Gold, we can understand, it was precious then, it is precious now. What is frankincense and myrrh? These two things, frankincense and myrrh, they are given for the religious purposes. Both are used to as a fragrance and a very pious fragrance. So, all these things were very precious then. So, in the imitation of that gesture, we give gifts to each other on Christmas. Now, let's come back to the theme of war. In World War I, we had something different, a different kind of strategy. In earlier days, if we are fighting on a playground, so I will be using my sword and I'm going to come and kill you, and you're going to come and kill me. So the margin of error is even for both the parties. But in World War I, we had guns. So if you're coming to get me, and I have the gun, and you have the gun, and I can shoot you because I have got the bigger advantage because I'm staying in my position and I can defend myself. But you don't have to defend anything, you have to come and get me. So while you are moving from that point to this point, I can shoot you down. So to mitigate this advantage that I have, you are going to do something different. You don't go forward, you don't go backward, you go down inside the earth and you build trenches. You dug up the trenches, they are around 5 to 6 feet, and you stay there as long as I'm holding my ground. And it keeps you safe. And in World War I, there were three kind of trenches that were being used. First is the front line, especially this is closest to the enemy, and this is where main action happens. Then the support trench, because people are going to die in the front trench because artillery is going to come, bombs are going to be dropped. Then people need to be shifted to the support trench, and then there is going to be the reserve trench, and this reserve trench is the safest place. And behind this reserve trench, this is where the people can get some rest, the injured soldiers can get some treatment, and so on. Now let's come back to the first trench, the fire trench in front. It is the dangerous place. If you see the photographs, people die. If I am the soldier and I have a friend and he's talking to me day and night, and suddenly a bullet comes and he's dead. And in heat, there are going to be flies, there are going to be diseases, all kind of things that are going to happen there. So this is not a very beautiful place. But something happens in the trench in this story. So what happens in the story? There is going to be a young man who is having short of money and he's going to find something for himself. He's going to go to the junk shop and he's going to buy an old roll top desk. Roll top desk is something like a desk, and it is going to get it open and the boxes will come out and he can hide his things inside. But it was old and it needs mending. While opening it in his garage, he takes that roll top desk to his garage to mend it, and he finds a black box. And inside a black box, there was an envelope inside it. So something was written outside the envelope. Mrs. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset, December 26, 1914. So this is the information that was written. And it is certain that this is going to talk about the things that happened on 1914, December 26. Now he's going to read the letter. Of course, he's going to read the letter because if you find an old letter that is 50 or 20, 40 years old, so you're going to read it, no matter how innocent you think of yourself or I think of myself. So what happens when he reads the letter? And this letter is written by a soldier who was fighting on December 26, 1914 on the battlefield, against the German forces. And he was definitely staying in the front trench, the fire trench where the action happens. So they're going to fight, they're going to share the bullets. But what happens? This is written in the letter that I'm going to describe to you later. So they don't fire the bullets. The German wishes them Merry Christmas. And the English forces think they would have thought that this is again a new strategy by the Germans. But one of the English soldiers also reciprocate the same, saying Merry Christmas. Both the parties come out on the ground. They come out of their trenches and greet each other. There was a German officer, then there was an English officer. They bring out their liquors, they bring out their food, and they exchange the liquors and foods. Now, this is very important because the World War is known for the brutality of taking the blood. But this is a different gesture. This is a kind of peace thing that is happening in the midst of violence. They play football. They are going to do a lot of things together that only friends do. And they play football, and Germans defeat the English in the football match. And Germans, the officer says that why don't we just decide the result of war by playing football match, because no wives will lose their husbands, no children will lose their fathers, and this is going to be the better way of deciding the result. So this was a very fascinating thing that the German soldiers tell the English soldiers. Not only do they share the bottles, not only do they share the food and other things, they also share the stories about them, the stories about their families, the story about what are their favorite novels, their favorite musicians, everything the best friends do. While playing the football match, they removed their coats, they removed their khakis, and they played like children. There were no merciless soldiers then. They put on their grey coats, English put on their khakis, and they were again the soldiers. And after this thing was over, the letter was closed, and a reader who bought that roll top desk from a junk shop next day goes to the address written behind the letter. He finds the house of Mrs. Jefferson, which was burned down, and he gets the information that this house used to be occupied Mrs. Jefferson, who is now 101 years old something, and she has lost sense of the reality, and she is now living in a nursing home. So he goes to that nursing home to meet that old lady, and that old lady on Christmas, that was a Christmas Eve, sits alone in the next room because other people were celebrating other things in that nursing home. Now he finds the old lady, he gives that old lady that letter, and she holds the letter and she thinks that man is her husband. The man doesn't know what to say. But the lady is so happy that the man couldn't say that I am not your husband. Your husband is long dead, maybe. And she says that this is going to be the best Christmas gift ever. Amazingly. So this beautiful story ends here. And there are a lot of messages that this story gives that puts love over war and everything. Thank you so much for watching this. Hope you have a great time.